All right. Thanks for everyone hanging around while we're waiting for everyone to get in. It seems like it takes a minute or two to get everybody kind of settled. I want to thank you for joining. This is our third of our Lunch and Learn. A couple of housekeeping. We have, if you look on your screen, at the bottom of your screen when you use your mouse, your cursor, you have a Q&A. You can press on the Q&A button and be able to ask questions. Is that correct, Mindy? Did I say that right?
Yeah, there's the Q&A button at the bottom. There's also a chat box. So really either one, we'll be watching both of them for any questions. Okay,
great. So all right, as long as Mindy, I won't be looking at the chats probably. So I'll try to focus a little better. Anyway, with that in mind, so today is our third in our Lunch and Learns. We have John Matecki. Is Dan with you? Okay. So we've got John Matecki with Air Force SBIR's Tech Warrior Enterprise program. They have been a great partner. We have enjoyed working with them since we've met them and got to go out to Ohio. He's here to talk to us today about their program and about our demo, the demo program that we're working with them on. As we've tried explaining to everybody in the last two, what we're hoping to do is help you understand that our Kansas SBDC Tech Innovation Center and all of the SBDCs surrounding us are all coming together to focus on Encountering Innovation Conference, which is a one-time event once a year at this point. This is our fourth year, but we are an ongoing program working with our clients to help them commercialize their innovation. Today I had a discussion with someone that's looking to become a client, and they're not certain whether they should even pitch because of their innovation. And I said, well, then go ahead and apply. And he said, well, why would I apply? I said, because we're an ongoing program. You want to commercialize what you're doing, right? And they said, yes. I said, well, then it makes sense. Go ahead and apply. And then between Bill, our science advisor, grant specialist, he'll see if there's a match there, and then we can talk to you about your IP and whether or not it makes sense to go that route, or do we just go ahead and socialize you with who we see as targets in the DoD. So you don't have to pitch in order to work with the SBDC programs from whatever state you're in. You can work with us regardless of if you pitch. I'm not talking you out of the pitch. I'm just pointing out to you that if there's a concern, you can continue to work with us because we are here before, during, and after the conference. The Lunch and Learn's coming up. Next week, we've got South Dakota speaking to you and bringing some examples. There's going to be a university focus along with what all he's doing. So we hope we can, those of you that have close contacts with your universities and their tech transfer offices, highly recommend you reach out to them. Because that would be a benefit for those universities that are looking to shop their technologies for licensing purposes. Air Force SBIR, Kim Yoder she is the director for the contracts for Air Force SBIR. That's a lot of contracting, and she does a very good job. She will be presenting August 21st. August 28th, we have Sharp Hub and a focus on medical and life sciences. Then we're doing a deep dive on IP, planning to do that September the 4th. And then we have PTAC preliminarily agreeing to come to us September the 11th. Then our open date during our conference week. And then finally, September the 25th, we're going to circle the wagons and reimagine all that we've learned where we can get a new focus as we move forward. With that in mind, think we're ready, John. Oh yeah, that's right, because that's where you're at. I've got you ready to go, so I'm going to stop sharing and turn it over to you.
All right, let me bring up my slide here. Can everybody see the slides?
Yes, I can.
Put them up in,
yes.
All right, so thank you for the introduction, Alan. We really appreciate it. Encountering Innovation has been such a great partnership. It's led us to some of the folks that I'll introduce to you here momentarily that we'll get into. But if you're still on the fence, if you haven't registered or looked to register, as soon as this is over, that's the first thing you need to do. Register for this event. Not because we're involved in it. Without us, it's a massive success. We're just a 8-9 hole hitter in the lineup. It's just a great team, and we're going to showcase. We actually have 2 companies that were out at last year that are working together to make this work good for today to show you guys. So I'm John Matecki. My counterpart is at home monitoring some stuff. So he's working on getting this set up for you guys next week. So Dan DeMota is my tag team partner and partner in crime, as well as my brother from another mother. So he's my counterpart. You guys will get to know him as we move forward. So let's just get right into it. This is what we're going to cover. We're going to give you a quick introduction to Tech Warrior Enterprise, how that vision is supported, and then we'll get into Encountering Innovation, the event, and the support that we're going to provide leading up to the event. And then if there's time, we'd love to answer any questions. So let's just jump right into it.
Hey, John.
Ma'am.
Could you speak up just a little bit? Your voice is a little bit low.
What's the name? Let me slide my computer a little bit closer. Normally I'm told I'm a loudmouth, and everyone on the call probably will verify that. So can you hear me better now?
A little bit. It's still a little quiet.
Okay. All right, so introduction to Tech Warrior Enterprise. This is our mission. The big words that are larger and in caps, that's primarily what we do. We test, experiment, data collect, and we insert your products into real world showcase and demonstration areas. So if you look down there, that's a convoy. We tested some products. So really what we do is we provide an environment where you can fail forward in the most realistic. We've had actual operators come out to our site, and our site, they said, we're running an abandoned cement plant. They said that site looked very closely to a place that they were in Afghanistan. So we try to duplicate as close as possible to what your device would be put in. Our goals, we want to push we want to push your products to the breaking point. And that sometimes we want to break your products because we want you to fail forward. So if your product breaks and fails in our environment, it's low minimal cost and it's a fail forward for you, to where if you got it out to market and it failed and it cost someone their life, you're probably going to be bankrupt. So we create a safe environment to where your failures can turn into success. And then the other thing that we do along with the partnerships through all over the place, Kansas SBDC and Oklahoma SBDC being 2 of our lead pushes, help us accelerate those. Dan and I in the Tech Warrior Enterprise do an amazing job from your product, from a device side of things. Where the rest of the team comes in is they help you with that business side of things. And the best thing is it contains the cost and manages the risk because it's such a small footprint. And the big thing with our event is, if I was to stand up a consultant on the outside and not be paid through the Air Force SBIR, you guys would be paying a lot for me. This is not a pat on the back, but there's a lot of talents that Dan and I bring to the table. And the best part of where we're at is we're 100% free to you. We are here for the small business. The Lockheeds, the Boeings, they can afford to have Dan and I come out and be subject matter experts and talk to whatever it is they have going on. But we know the small guys need that extra support. So that's where we come in, and we are 100% free. So attending our events, all you have to do is get yourself there, house yourself, feed yourself. That's it. Once you step foot onto our site, we don't ask for anything from you, but to test your product and put your best forward. The difference from our events and other events that are out there, we are 100% tailored to meet your needs and what your technology wants. So so if you bring out let's use a weapons device. If you want us to fire, we have figured out how to do that. So if you want us to put rounds through a weapon, because like Steve, who's helping Tom out, he's got a cleaning solution that works phenomenal. Years past, we weren't able to do that. So this was kind of a nonsense bullet, and we fixed that. So if you've got a weapon system that you want to get tested, we will do our best to do that, because it doesn't make sense to just talk about your weapon. We'll actually use it and tailor it towards you. So we want to make sure that you get what goals you want out. There's a lot of lead up to it. There's a lot of build up, just like there is with Encountering Innovation, to make sure that you are set up for success. And we give you the best that we can to meet your needs. So the Tech Warrior Enterprise is made up of 2 separate events. Our first event is the Tech Warrior Connect, and our big event that we're trying to do that we would be doing live in person with you all, but thank you COVID for ruining just yet another thing, is our Tech Warrior Ops. So let's get into the difference between these 2 events. So the Tech Warrior Connect, this is a small footprint. This is normally a one-on-one, and what these have evolved into because of COVID is it's a virtual event now. So what we've done is we've had companies send their products out, we'll play with them in our property, or we'll go out to our office and play with them, and then we give them feedback on their device. And then we'll sit down and do an outbrief similar to what we're doing, use Zoom, go to all the platforms. Again, it's tailored to meet your needs and scheduled around your needs. So we don't say, hey, you have to come this day. It's what works best for you. When can we make this work on your schedule? That's what we're here to do. We want to support you and your needs. And then again, the event can be designed. Normally, they've been about 5 days. They could be as short as 1 day. We've had folks come out for just a couple hours to chat. Or if needed, they could be multiple days. We can go as long as needed to meet your needs. That is the biggest thing. You are the customer, and we want to make sure that you get what you need. So if it takes 2 weeks, then it's 2 weeks, whatever it is to get your goals met during this. So this is a one-on-one, small users. So the example I always use is if you're developing a new handcuff, it doesn't make sense for you to talk to a firefighter. They don't use handcuffs on a day-to-day basis. Why not get you in front of some law enforcement? Why not get you in front of some military police to get feedback on that? So that would be a one-on-one to where they sit there and be like, oh, no, they're too heavy. I can break it if I do this, and get you that feedback. But then where we go to another step is our big event, which we're going to be doing in conjunction with Encountering Innovation leading up to, which we'll talk at the back end of this, is our Tech Warrior Ops. So our Tech Warrior Ops is when we bring multiple companies in, multiple users, because we may just think, and you may think, that you're just marketing your handcuffs to a police officer. Well, what about correction facilities? What about the military that goes down range that has to do detainee ops? So we broaden that so that you get more feedback. And then even those that necessarily don't use handcuffs will be able to give you feedback because they just understand things, and that's where we get you multiple feedback. And then the other beauty of our events, unfortunately, it won't work out as well virtually. We put you in rooms with like-minded folks. Now, if you're working on something that is almost identical, we'll keep you guys separated as much as possible. But if we believe that there's a possibility for, you know, I'm an 80s kid, I like cartoons. So if we do the Voltron, you know, it was 5 pieces that came together that made the big robot. We're going to try to do that to where you guys can work together and come together and possibly make one mega product. And we've had that at some of our events where I believe we've had up to 8 products working together. And some of those partnerships are just for an event because it looks good. And then sometimes they go on to actually partner up and make a better product. So those are our 2 major events. So how do we support that, the vision of Tech Warrior? So what we do, you can see that handsome gentleman looking over there while people are working. That's me. I kind of get to be in a managerial role. I don't get to touch stuff anymore. It is what it is, but it works. We're bringing in folks. So on our actual full-time team, we have well over 100 man-years in military experience. With combat deployments, peaceful missions, all areas of military that you can think of, someone on our team or someone that we bring in to support us has done that. So these are some of the things: combat trauma, security forces, all of that you see there. I'm not going to read them all to you, is what we bring. And the other beauty of where we are being affiliated with the Air Force Small Business Innovation Research Office, we have reached back into AFRL, we have reached back into different academics so that we're able to bring in certified research scientists if that's a need. Our technical expertise, obviously it's great that you've got all this mission experience, but you got to be able to pull it out. So these are some of the things that we can bring to the table on our site, and then when we travel, we'll also bring those. Our biggest thing is the simulation techniques. We try to put your device in the most realistic operational experience so that when you go to market, we already know it's going to be a success. So in this picture that you see here, that's my tag team partner, Dan, and that's his son that he's putting on devices. That young man has 3 products on him. There's actually 5 products in the video, in that picture alone, that are being tested all at once. So that's what we try to do, is try to see how there's blends between companies and how we can work that. So that's what we bring as a technical expert. At our site, we are an abandoned cement plant, 50 some odd acres of property. We can expand out if need be. We haven't had to, but we've got a very robust Wi-Fi. We can go into pretty much all of your needs that you have are met out there with that. And then the best thing that we have on our site, and we travel with some of this, is we've got 10 cameras that are able to record almost everything that we do during the event, so that we can potentially give that back to you, so that you can use that, whether it's for your advertisement or you use it for your proposal writing or wherever that is. We also have the ability to use some ground robot sensors. We have different aerial platforms that we use. And then all of that changes based on where we go. So we're looking to do an event out of Oklahoma. So some of that stuff changes and some stuff gets improved. So keep that in mind. As we're on the road, some things get better, some things decrease, but it all washes out. So our training zones that we have on our site, we have underground tunnels. We have just basically anything. There hasn't been anything that a customer or client has come to us that we haven't had or able to get our hands on. So if you could think of something and it's out there and we can get our hands on it, we'll get our hands on it to make sure that you can get the best for your device inside our events. There's a couple of folks on the call that I've seen some names that have been out to our sites as well that have used it. So don't take my word for it. I'm not I'm just a guy with a cool background, and that's all I am to some of you until you get to know me. The investment in this endeavor was made over a year ago, and we're on a 18-month contract that ends in November. So we're winding down. That investment was $1.9 million. Our return right now to date, and there's more numbers that'll come in, we are north of $100 million return on investment. And you say, well, how do you do your return on investment? Well, it's if those of you that are on the call don't have a SBIR, you get a SBIR, phase 1 or phase 2, that goes into our ROI. If you have a bunch of sales that come directly from our event, that's part of our ROI. So those are the measurements, and we've had over $100 million in that. So we've been pretty successful. We've got a pretty good streak up until recently. Things were out of sorts with this SBIR solicitation to some aspects, so we're just going to call that a glitch in time. But most of the companies that have submitted, normally, I'd say at least 50% get picked up on their first try. If they do a duplicate, we're almost at 100% for duplicates. Now, there are those rare occasions. We have nothing to do with that selection process. It's just a coincidence. But you've got all the mentorship of the folks that are part of the SBDC, from Alan and Jessica that you'll meet here in a moment, and all of their team that give you those ins and outs. So this is just a great program, and we're just here to augment and take it to a next step. So countering innovation, if you haven't already signed up for it, you're doing yourself a disservice. It's one of those things that you just got to be part of. So if you're still on the fence and you're attending these lunch and learns to try to get more information, today's the last day that you've got to look for more information. All of the upcoming stuff is amazing. You still need to tune in, but today has to be the day that you take that step and you sign up for Encountering Innovation. So the second the Zoom call is terminated, you need to go to their website, you need to register, you need to get in, you need to start working with Alan, Vicky, and Bill, and start getting that stuff and the rest of their team to get it. If you don't, I'm just telling you, you're setting your product and your company back, because the next opportunity won't be until sometime next year. So you're wasting basically a year of your life. COVID's already tried that and has failed. So don't let your own era stop you from that, because you're going to get two things. One, you're going to get all the awesomeness that comes out of the Encountering Innovation. You're going to get the pitch in front of some amazing folks that could potentially lead you to some great places. You're going to get some great feedback that if it doesn't lead you to those places now, in a couple of months it will if you follow the advice. And then the thing that you'll get from us is we will give you straight, honest feedback on your product. If your product is not working and it's not relevant for the customer, we're going to give you tips of how to fix it and try to get you in the right market. So you will not get that, I promise you. There is nothing else out there that right now in the month of September that you will be able to get this. So as soon as it's done, register. If you're already registered, awesome, good on you. But if you're still thinking about it, stop thinking and just do it. get in there and get registered. So before I'm going to stop flapping my gums here. What I want to do is part of what the Tech Warrior Enterprise is going to do virtually, since COVID loves us so much and likes taking away everything from us. We're going to set up appointments with each one of you that is involved in Encountering Innovation. You're going to have a 1-hour time slot with Dan and I. And basically what we want is what we're about to play out for you. So we've got some folks that are going to give you, I want to introduce them and have them talk real briefly about themselves, and then we'll get into what we want from you. So we've got Tom Yoakum from ICU 360, who was part of last year's Encountering Innovation, linked up with Dan and I because we were sitting out in the hallway, and he said, I need to talk to you guys because I believe Jessica was in a couple of the pitches prior and heard what we bring to the table. And he sat and he had a great conversation with us. He came out to one of our events. He got some brutally honest feedback that has helped him to where he's gotten to today. So hopefully he'll share a little bit of what he got and tell you a little bit more of, I'm going to end my sales of why Encountering Innovation, and then I'm going to turn it over to Tom so that he can pitch his stuff. And I will stop sharing my screen for a moment and turn it over to you, Tom. You're muted.
Can you hear me now? Excellent. Hello, everyone. My name is Tom Yoakum with ICU 360. We are a wearable tech startup company trying to produce head-mounted wearable tech safety systems for the warfighter, law enforcement, and civilian industries. We are very early stage, and from the beginning, we had started working with the SBDC and was introduced to Encountering Innovations. And it was through that process we were able to meet with John and Dan up in Kansas, and then go forward over to Ohio to Tech Warrior. In short, what we're doing is working on, again, a head-mounted wearable tech safety system that puts eyes in the back of your head with a viewable screen and a camera system in the back. And what that does for you is gives you full-time situational awareness, and it gives you the ability to be in advance warning of anything coming up from behind you so you can be safer, and for some warfighters, more lethal. It's been quite a journey, but working with the SBDC and Encountering Innovations, and now along with Tech Warrior doing these demonstrations, it has taken us from a very small position in Oklahoma to where we're now getting recognized throughout different combatant commands and industries with Harley-Davidson and others. So it's been a tremendous experience, but we've learned a lot from the process.
Awesome. So Tom's going to do a demonstration here in a second, but before we get to Tom, I want to introduce from Oklahoma SBDC. So just to double down on what Alan said earlier in his remarks, you can clearly see just from this, it doesn't matter geographically where you are. So if you're in Pennsylvania, you're in Ohio, it doesn't matter, because the reason I just got goosebumps. Sorry, I weirded out with stuff like that. The reason that this is so successful is because we don't care about geography. The common denominator between the team that is running this and that is in the support role is, they're just borders, and that's where we call home. The big thing is it's all about America. It's all about the United States and the freedoms and protecting the men and women. So everybody puts, no one here will take a thank you. You'll thank people and they'll shy away and they'll deflect it. But these folks are truly patriotics and will put away, if you're in a different state, they'll work with you because it's just the right thing to do, because they know at the end of the day what we're doing is best not only for our country but our warfighters, and it pushes our freedoms forward. So that point can't be made any stronger, and these are amazing folks. So Jessica from Oklahoma SBDC was Tom and Steve. So Tom is in Steve's house helping them. So that's where it just shows that you're going to make bonds. Yes, they are in the same state, so that's geographic bond, but they also bond it while at Encountering Innovation. They bond it while at Tech Warrior, and then you slowly develop a family, and that's the beauty of this. So Jessica was both of their tech scouts during last year's Encountering Innovation. Built a great relationship with Dan and I in the Tech Warrior Enterprise, to where we're looking to do an event out in the state of Oklahoma. So without any further ado, Jessica, if you could give us a little bit, I think I might have just stole all of your thunder, so I apologize. But if you could give us a quick introduction on how you play your role into this.
Sure. I'm Jessica Irvin. I'm with the Oklahoma SBDC, and I work out of the Tech Launch Center. And my boss, her name is Barbara Bonner Stevens, and she's actually on vacation this week, or she would be on the call with us today. And we have been blessed. This is our third year to be working with Kansas SBDC for the Encountering Innovations event. And every year we have grown the number of innovators and technologies that we are bringing to Encountering Innovation and putting in front of those tech scouts for the DoD and the different agencies. So it's just been a wonderful process, and our innovators are getting a lot of traction through this process. So I highly recommend, if you're on the fence about this event, that you take advantage of it. There's so much that comes from this that otherwise you would not have an opportunity to be in front of or experience. And today I'll be representing as a tech coach through the exercise to help those of you that'll be helping your innovators from your states on what information to collect and how to use that information going forward.
Thank you. So before we get into our exercise, I see the question has come up in the chats. No, we're not just weapons. That's what we're really good at. So we just participated in a space event with Colorado. So again, you see that it's America. That's it. I can't drive that point home. That yeah, we all have our own states, and we all have driver's license from that states. But really, great if we could just have an American license, because that's what everyone on this call and everyone I support. We're just, if we could, I think everyone on this call would just have American flags all over themselves and just true patriotic. Everyone. So, where was I going with that? Yep. So what I was saying was, so you've asked the question. Weapons is where we're at, but we've been in space. We've got an event coming up with cyberspace. And what you'll get, and the folks on the call can give a north-south of. There's no BS involved in this. We're not going to sugarcoat stuff. We're going to give you straightforward advice. If your product isn't that great, we're going to tell you your product isn't that great, but it's not going to stop there. We're going to tell you how you can improve on the product, because just saying this is stupid, that's what a 2-year-old does. So we will tell you, look, this is why this doesn't work in its current configuration. We did that with we gave Tom some good advice on that. And then some of your product, we're going to say, you got a sales issue. You just need to get it out, and you need to talk to the right folks. So we will be brutally honest with you in a very respectful way. So you will get what you need from us, and you'll definitely get that from the team at Encountering Innovation. So the second question that I saw that came up, and there's a super long question that I can't read because there's such big words in there that I'm lost now. After this, we'd like you to start today. I don't want to dictate anybody's schedule, but if you are registered for Encountering Innovation, or you're going to register and you were selected to attend the event, I want you to book a time slot with us. You may be in a different time zone. We work out of Dayton, Ohio, so we're in the Eastern time zone. So all the times I am going to give you are going to be Eastern Standard Time. I know some of you are out in the Central. That's why I don't want to say, meet me at this time. I want you to tell me when I need to meet you. So I'm going to share my screen, bring up, there. So you can see this great web page. It's twenterprise.org. That is a Tech Warrior Enterprise webpage. There's a lot of great stuff. If you want to know more about us, here's some good stuff. You go through, here's our upcoming events. Here's a little bit about each one of our events. I got to slide this out of the way. So if you go to the More tab, click More, go down to Contact Us. Right there you will see it says, click to schedule. This is where you're going to set up your time to chat with Dan and I. You're going to click the schedule. It's going to redirect you to our open schedule. All of this, the 17th through the 28th, we're going to add more slots as more of you become available, and we may even need to bleed over into the next week. So this may turn into 8 slots a day, and this may turn into 8 across the board. We'll make sure everybody gets ample time with us. But again, this is a first come, first serve. So if you're already signed up and you go in, select a time during one of these 2 weeks. I've got this set up for today as an example. So let's say today was the day that you chose to meet with me. You're going to click the one available, and it's at 4 p.m. today. That's 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You're going to click that. Once you have it and it's clicked, you'll click continue. From there, it's going to ask for some simple stuff. If you don't know who you are, you may be beyond help. So hopefully everybody on here knows who they are. So I'm going to put me, my email, one of the 2 that I have to use. You know what? I'll use my personal email. My phone number for this, I'm not going to call you unless you really want me to call. So you could put a fake phone number in. I'm not going to hold it against you. If you don't feel comfortable with it, make up a number. You can put the pizza place. It doesn't matter because I'm not going to call you unless I absolutely have to. That's it. If you want to put your company, awesome. You want to put some comments, awesome, but not required. These first 4 fields are required. Once you have that in there, you're going to click confirm. Once you hit confirm, if you want to save this, this is going to be your information of where to go. We prefer that you meet with us virtually, that you have a camera so that we can show stuff. And this is going to make a little bit more sense here. You're also going to have this in an email. So my email just blew up. I now have this inside. I gotta look at my face. Barely remember my passcode. So if I go into my Yahoo account right now, FanDuel says I lost yesterday, only a couple bucks, but that's all right. Tech Warrior Enterprise meeting, right there. You probably can't see that. Yep, because it's gone. I have it, so now it's saved so that if you forgot this, and then it's got this quick button to where you can add it to your calendar. So that's what you need to do to get an appointment. That is my actual phone number. So if anyone wants to write that down, call me. If you just want to chat, you need to, call me and I'll be there, just like the song says. So that is how you schedule with us. So I'm going to stop sharing, and then we're going to get into what we don't want from you when you get on this call. So Tom's going to give us a quick rundown of what we don't want. Then we're going to pause and reset, and then we're going to get into what we want to see that would be of more value for you. Now, again, everyone's at a different level. Some folks have different, your TRLs are at a different level. So maybe you're in the early stages. Please still set up an appointment with us. We can talk to you. So this is not a one size fits all, but this is the preferred method that we'll get to second. So Tom's going to give us the method that we don't want, and we'll show you how we can still give you some feedback, but how the correct way is the better way. So we'll start off with Tom. Thanks for joining us today. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your product and give us a rundown of what you got.
Again, hello everyone. We have a patented wearable tech safety system that is a head-mounted system that puts eyes in the back of your head. We believe that this has applicability for the warfighter, law enforcement, and multiple civilian segments. It is a simple system that will pair a camera to a near-eye optics solution or heads-up display that will eliminate blind spots, put eyes in the back of your head, making you safer, more capable, and more aware.
So what Tom just described to you, yes, I can visualize that and say, well, if this is where you're at, you don't have a prototype, we can still make it successful for you. But here in a second, you're going to see why it's better if you already have a prototype and you bring it to the table. So I can say, Tom, how much is it going to weigh? And then he gives us an answer and we say, well, that's going to be too heavy because my head's going to be like this. I'm not going to care. How much of the eye space is it going to take up when I'm looking at it? That's all you're going to get. You're going to spend more time us digging to get answers. And then Jessica would come in and piggyback off of that and make sure that it's all clean. And we'll turn it over to Jessica here in a second when we get to the successful way. So now the correct way, correct is not the right term, a better way to do it and for you and your product to get more is this. So I'll turn it back over to you, Tom.
Okay, we're going to switch cameras. No, you can keep that on. Okay. Okay, can everyone see and hear me? Are we on mute on it?
Go ahead and kill the other camera for us, Tom.
Kill this other camera? He's wanting to kill the other camera?
Well, you're going to show it up close though.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's fine.
Yeah, we can actually use, we can use both. And
I'm sorry.
Okay, yeah, just want to make sure we're good. Okay, hello everyone, my name is Tom Yoakum. I am here to pitch a wearable tech safety device, a patented wearable tech safety device. We are trying to put eyes in the back of your head, making you safer, more capable, bringing hyper awareness for a hyper-enabled warfighter to the warfighter and military different combatant commands, as well as law enforcement and civilian segments for bicyclists and motorcyclists. And with that, we had started off with several different prototypes and early stage proof of concepts, one of which would be an early stage military version that utilized an existing components called TACI. This is developed from a company out of New York called 615 Technologies, as well as to our camera system that will pair into this heads-up display, which will in turn put eyes in the back of the warfighter's head, giving them full-time situational awareness and making them more capable. These camera systems are to be remotely viewable, constantly recorded, and when the warfighter needs to load into the back of a hardened NRAP or troop carrier, we intend for these helmet systems to pair into those vehicles' camera systems, once again creating a hyper awareness for these and allowing them to be force multipliers, much safer and more lethal. So as we have been out through Encountering Innovations, working with the SBDC and also Tech Warrior, we have learned several things from our feedback working with these entities, which is cameras. We need it to be more collapsible, less intrusive. And through that process, we've worked with our manufacturing supply, which is, we are very proud to say, going to be US made for holographic. It's probably very hard to see in this camera, but there's a small holographic lens. So we've managed to get the size of our viewing system very small and unobtrusive. It will not block your vision at all. It adds a new line of sight to you. You respond very well cognitively to this type of system, so it does not distract you in any way. We've designed it to be removable and lightweight. We want it to be an enhancement for the warfighter, for the motorcyclist, bicyclist, for the law enforcement officer, even for prison workers. We want it to be lightweight, non-obtrusive, ruggedized, weatherized, and collapsible. And we are proud to say that we have gotten a lot of interest and a willingness from Harley-Davidson to sell our devices. And we are very enthusiastic about a relationship we're developing with 615 Technologies out of New York. They're the ones who have created these advanced heads-up displays that are currently in use with the DoD in different versions. We will be partnering with 615 and hoping to provide these to both the warfighter and civilian markets within the end of this calendar year. We have made a lot of advancements since working with the SBDC, going to Encountering Innovations, and also the big one with Tech Warrior. As John mentioned, we want these things to fail early and not in theater. We want actual end users like John and other warfighters to tell us real, true, gritty, hardcore feedback about what will make this system better for the warfighter and for civilian usage. It's these events that have given us the opportunity to partner up with gentlemen like Steve Easom, I'm proud to say is our CEO now, and he's going to take us further working with me than I would be able to do myself. That was from Encountering Innovations and Tech Warrior. Also, we've advanced our business plan. One of the things that we've learned from working with both Encountering Innovations and Tech Warrior is to tighten up our business, to structure up our business. So for me, it was important to catch the technology up with my passion and to realize what I needed to work on to get this fast-tracked and into the warfighters. It's these events that have made that capable for me, and we're very thankful.
So very, very simple, a lot different from the first one. I actually can see his product, know a little bit about it. Sorry I had to step off camera because I have some feedback, legitimate feedback that I'm actually going to give to Tom. So my helmet, easily I can see that you have it mounted, works well, you've got the rail systems and everything. So the question would be, and this would be a similar, if I've never met Tom, this would be the question. Some folks rock their helmet, in and out and in, but some folks also wear, which is called the Mohawk cover. And on the back of the Mohawk cover, it's set up to where you've got a battery compartment. And inside that battery compartment is normally for night vision or whatever other stuff. Would your device interfere, or are you able to mount this on this with the battery in there?
That's correct. We are a camera and eyepiece agnostic. We understand that there are different systems that are in place with the DoD, and we're not trying to get you to retrofit or disregard an existing system. We are lightweight. We can stack with our camera systems. We can tie into battery systems. We plan to tie in with vehicle camera systems, NVGs. Basically, we are eyepiece and camera helmet agnostic. We don't want you to have to replace anything. Just add our system, which will be very lightweight within grams and give you much more awareness. We have these capabilities available in different components. ICU 360 in our vision has been to bring these together and create a hyper-enabled warfighter. Not to get you to replace anything, but yes, as a small, lightweight addition.
Outstanding. That's how it would go. We get into a little bit more in depth. And the one thing that I want to point out that Tom did successfully, and then I'll turn it over to Jessica, is if you're developing something, whatever it is, the biggest failure we've seen to date was a gentleman who wanted to get into body armor. He has never worn the current body armor that's being worn by our troops. So he claimed his stuff was lighter. How can you claim it's lighter if you've never worn or never seen or never handled the original? So if you're able to, like Tom has, if you know you're working on a helmet, try to get what the users are wearing so that you can actually fit it to it, so that you're not making them buy your product and then they got to buy this product to make sure that it fits on that product. And the next thing you know, they've got to buy 5 accessories that doesn't work. So Jessica, I'll turn it over to you from a tech coach perspective of what you would add in that. So if anyone has, if there's any tech coaches on the line, or if you're currently working with your tech coach, you need to share this video with them and then take the pointers that Jessica is about to give to you. Jessica, it's all yours.
Okay, so one thing that I would say you definitely need to do is have a prep session with your client prior to this, to your appointment with Tech Warrior, and that is going to allow you to know what you want from the session, go through that pitch practice. Tom and I did a pitch practice this morning prior to this call just for today's event. So we know exactly what we want to get from this, what kind of information we need, any kind of questions that need to be clarified. So if we know we have something, a piece of information we need to get from this, if we don't get that answer, we're asking those clarifying questions during the prototype testing with John and Dan with Tech Warrior, making sure that we're getting that. Take thorough notes. Do not depend on your memory or the memory of the client, because they're in this presentation mode. So they're not storing that information. They're going through a process. So it's up to you to take really good notes that are useful. And then I say debrief with your innovator following this call that you have with Tech Warrior. And another thing is going to be set goals for this opportunity. What do you want from this? What are you hoping to do? For Tom, it's going to be taking information to work on maybe with his SBIR Phase 2. It's going to be making sure that these questions are answered, and also just making sure he was able to answer those questions that are coming to you rapid fire, because that's also going to happen. You'll see that during your Encountering Innovation time in front of the DoD Tech Scouts. And that is one of the things, just some very good note taking, preparation and anticipation of questions that may come up, and making sure your innovator can display and show and definitely hit on the high points in the technology that they have. They need to be able to explain that easily so that nothing gets left behind and that all questions are answered for your goals and what you wanted to get out of this session.
Awesome.
Tom, do you have anything to add to that?
Nope. Go ahead, Alan. You have something to add. Go ahead.
So a question and then maybe a comment question. When they come to you to demo, will there be the availability for the client to record the session for them, to where they can go back to what Jessica was just talking about? Is there a way for them to record their session with you to where they can go back and look at the advice and the comments to better focus later?
Yes. So we will be using the GoTo platform, only because Zoom was deemed bad by folks that I work for, because I'll leave that so I don't step in something. But as you see, Zoom's not an issue, but we use the GoTo platform. And inside of that, it does have a recording option. It's something that I would have to initiate and then send you the recording. So if you are interested in your session being recorded, let me know. I'm going to try to remember that. However, this gray hair just didn't come up because of stress. A lot of it is. Father time is just whooping on me, so the brain doesn't work as well as it does. So if for some reason we get to the day and I don't mention about recording, if you remember, I will hit the button and then I'll get that to you. So yes, we will make sure that we get it recorded. And we're also going to have notes. So as Dan and I are talking, we'll also take notes so that we can send those to you.
Gotcha. So, okay, now then to the demonstration. I'm sitting here going, you did a lot, Tom, pointing out some things, but the one thing that I think that I saw that I'm going, we're missing is we don't have a view from the camera looking out. So one of the things we need to point out is whatever you're dealing with, whatever the device is, if there's a benefit to it besides what this is, and but it's connected to the technology, even if it's a heads-up display on the computer, I think we need to holistically cover all of it. So in this case, I think we missed this. If you practice, or if like I'm pointing it out, well then the good news is if you go, well, I can't do that right now, I've not practiced. Well, at least by the time you get to then the conference, you should be able to do that. Another comment or point, pitching, or excuse me, demonstrating to Tech Warrior is different than you're demonstrating to the Encountering Innovation conference. We're looking at two pitches. One is to the DoD, and the second will be public. And we need to realize that everyone that pitches is required to demo. The demo does not need a new pitch. It needs a pure demo because we won't have much time that evening. Think of it this way. Your demo time that you demo with the DoD sucks out time that you can DoD publicly because we got 3 hours. Everyone doesn't demo each day. So it's just the group that pitched that day. So it'll be shorter. The first day, I think we got 15 slots as of right now. So there'll be 15 demos. So it's not that many. But just realize it's two different targets. So anytime you demo, we need to understand who our target market is, just like when you're going to Tech Warrior. So just something to point out, Tech Warrior's job is not to train you to demo this to someone else. Their job is to see that it works or it fails or what the improvement is. Don't rely on them to help you make it better. Now, your tech coach should be able to point some of those things out. And then between that and your pitch practice, hopefully you'll get that down. We're trying to take advantage of the fact that we are virtual, but we're not using that as an excuse to not demo. So I'm loving what we're seeing here. If you learned something that you went, hey, I caught something in my demo, please share that with us. Help us to learn some tricks of the trade as we demo virtually. I found out that whatever it is, just share those with all of us. None of us are experts at the demo part of this virtual. So we're all trying to learn there. Okay, back to you.
Yeah, so two things, not to set Tom up for failure. We did go very simple, but that's a good point. If you can show that, show that. This was very down and dirty. So that is stuff. And then the other thing that we want to do, and obviously this is going to take a little bit of time. You have one of one. I don't want this. You've got multiple prototypes. At some point through the process, we'll set up to where if you're comfortable sending your device to us, we will play with it. So we have, at the time when we last met Tom, he had very minimal prototypes, so it wasn't feasible to leave one behind. And you've got to do what you got to do what's best for your business. Now, if you take Steve, who's gracefully hosting Tom right now, he left behind product. I've cleaned my weapon with it. He left behind his glasses. We've done some things with them. So he left that behind to where we've been so busy, and it's something we got to get back to. I owe him feedback. So that's the next step in this of you want us to physically touch your device, we'll set up a mechanism for you to get our product to us and for us to send it back. Or if it's something you just say, just continually play with it and then just keep it in your portfolio to show folks. So that's another thing, the feature there. So there were a couple questions. One that I know of right now. So the next 2 weeks. So next week is going to be a chance for you to book. Some of you have already got 2 of you that have already on our calendar. That's awesome. That's amazing. Those 2 weeks, if you book an appointment with us and you are not selected to attend Encountering Innovation, we are going to delete your appointment. That does not mean that you cannot meet with us. I just have that 2 weeks blocked off for Encountering Innovation companies. So if you are not selected to attend Encountering Innovation and still want to be part of the Tech Warrior Enterprise, send me a message I'll give you my email. It's TW, and I'll put it in the comments here in a second. It's TW Enterprise at Wright, WRIGHT dash research.org. Or if you go into our website at twenterprise.org, you'll see that we have a place to where you can contact us, where we showed you that, where you would book, you can reach out to us via there, and then we'll answer your questions and we'll still set you up. So Alan has a specific criteria that needs to be met for you to get in. So if you don't meet that, it's not the end of the world. It is an amazing event. However, there's other opportunities that will come. So if you happen to fall into a tactical or a medical device that did not get down selected to attend Encountering Innovation, well, great news. 2 weeks after Encountering Innovation, Tech Warrior is hosting a Tech Warrior Ops that will have a virtual event that you could get into. So there's other opportunities, and what we're working with Alan and Jessica and more partners as we go. We want this to be, yes, Encountering Innovation is the culmination of the year, and that's, you know, the time to shine. But we want to do these mini projects all throughout the year to make sure that you're getting your feedback. So those 2 weeks, just for Encountering Innovation selected companies. If you're poster boarding, yes, we'll work with you. But if you're not going to be affiliated with Encountering Innovation at all, and you're just on here because it's some great information, we still want to work with you, because if you're not doing it this year, we'll have a chat of why. If you weren't down selected, obviously the team will work with you of what needs to be done for you to get into next year's criteria. We'll work with you, just not during those 2 weeks. I think that was the only big question that was direct, unless I missed something, Mindy. I don't know if there was any other ones.
I think we're good.
Oh, somebody just commented. If we apply for Encountering Innovation, are we automatically registered for the conference, whether or not our product is selected, or is there a separate registration link?
That's an excellent question. So the application is for the pitch and poster boarding. There is a separate registration with a host, and we will be sharing that link, I think, in the next week. Is that correct, Vicki?
That's correct.
I think it's August, or I think their link is going live. I'm off a week. I think it's August 17th, isn't it?
That's what I was thinking as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So
we'll have this information on the website also.
Yeah. Yeah. To what Vicki just said, the one thing, remember, for all of you, if you're outreaching, talking to others, we are going to do our best to put everything on Encountering Innovation website. These lunch and learns, the video, the ability to go back and recap or watch it, we're going to put those back on there to where you can see those. So if you know someone that should see this, should be able to always point them back to Encountering Innovation for the library of the lunch and learns, as well as the information. To point out how we do this, how we make this happen, it requires a lot of work from a lot of people. Our host is Johnson County Community College, Kansas SBDC team. And so if it wasn't for their assistance in this case, we couldn't do what we do. And that's the truth. So they're our host. They're the ones who take care of the registration. They're actually doing all the virtual setup, which is a lot harder than physical. So you will see that, like I said, about August the 17th. I'm going to share our screen now. Let's see if I got the right one, which I got to find me. Where am I? There we go. I think this is it. Okay. Are you seeing, are we bright? Somebody nod.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. Okay, good. All right. So I want to point out a couple of things. I know we're almost at the end of our hour, so I want to be respectful, but try to hang on for just a couple of more minutes where I can get through this properly. So the next step is Bill's working hard, and then Vicki's getting everything ready to send to you, all of you that have already applied. You're going to receive these Encountering Innovation documents through a OneDrive link. We're going to try our best this year to step up instead of just email to make life easier. We've experimented, we've tested it. It seems to be working with different people, not just us. So we're trying to make sure this works right. You'll receive a quad chart and an information paper. This will be a PowerPoint document as well as a Word document. If you don't have PowerPoint or if you don't have Word, it's not a problem, because on OneDrive, the platform takes care of the software. If you do, then you're more than welcome to download your document. We will be sending you those 2 documents as you've applied. Your job then with your tech coach is to edit those documents while our science advisor and grant specialist, that's Bill, as he goes through and sees that your application, not your application, your technology is a good fit. So he's going to be working through that. At the same time, you're editing. So you're getting ready no matter what, because you're either pitching or you're poster boarding or you're presenting outside of the conference because you've opted out. That's not a problem. We've already told you, we're here to work with you. This conference is not the end all, it's the beginning. So we want you to work through this and get prepared to pitch or poster board or to work with us ongoing. After you've edited, then we will send back to you your pitch deck and your poster board. Those are coming in the weeks to come. Right now, you'll get your quad charts. So we're about to unload a lot of quad charts and information papers to all of those that have applied. The pitch prep training, we've had people talking about that. We will be setting up the schedule for the virtual pitch. If you're in Oklahoma and Texas, we know they're setting up their pitch prep. So I don't know their schedule. As we go forward, we'll ask them and try to get everybody to where we can talk on the lunch and learns to where everybody knows what their schedule is for the pitch prep. But we will be working on those as early as August 24th and definitely by August 31st. I think that's it. Okay, so if you haven't, as John said, if you haven't applied, we're reminding you, you can always go to encounteringinnovation.com for the information to apply. That information, the lunch and learns, everything's on here. A reminder, we've got in this PowerPoint presentation, this will be sent to you along with your survey. We want you to tell us how we did today, give us some feedback. So this is a reminder of what's coming. Please tell others where we can grow this, the effectiveness of SBIR, as well as Encountering Innovation, all the way to the conference. Do we have other questions? I don't see any. I think we're, yeah. Our contact information is, you can always go to Encountering Innovation to get the contact information for us. You can also see it's on our final slide. And then John, you mentioned yours. I will be glad to grab John's. John will give me whatever he has, and I'll stick it on this slide deck as well. That way we have it all together to where you'll have his contact information. Okay, one last time, any other questions? All right, I think that's it. I'll update with John's contact information. I want to say a special thank you to, I know we had South Dakota on today. We had Oklahoma and Texas support teams here from SBDC groups. So I'm very glad to see you here. I don't know if I missed someone from Colorado or the other states. I apologize. I just kind of glanced through there earlier. And a special thank you to Tom for being willing to be one of our guinea pigs this week. I hope we will have some time to do a few more of those. If we do, we'll have to expand our lunch and learn, because we've got some really good lunch and learns coming that hopefully will be able to give you good effect in your commercialization program. I think that's it. Okay, we're about 5 minutes over. We're good to go. Thank you. Make it a great weekend. Take care. Bye.
Thank you.